Let's go, let's go, let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good wherever you find yourself. Welcome to another episode of, well, I would say it's the season premiere of IoT Tuesday. Yes, I know. I look very unkempt. Don't mind me. Mind the content. So thank you all for joining us again. It's been almost a year. We haven't come back live because we've been cooking and doing a lot of stuff. But we're back. We're back with IoT Tuesday, and today we're going to have a very interesting session with yours truly, myself, and we're going to have one of the I call him one of the best. He's the lead when it comes to IoT and the MVPs. He's our godfather, right? So today we're going to have a conversation. I'm going to have a conversation with him, and we're just going to have a chat about IoT on Azure and all these places. So if you have your questions about IoT on Azure, generally industrial IoT and all the fun stuff, today is the day to join us. And as we do it, we're going to go for the montage. When we come back, I'm going to introduce our guest and we're going to start talking. So as you know how we do it, stick and stay with us. We'll be right back. Yes, and that is your authoritative show when it comes to IoT on the continent, and we are all here. So, without much ado, I think I'm talking too much. Let me bring in my guest here, and today I have with me Sanda. Hello, Sanda. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing?
Hello, Samuel. Thank you for having me. It's such an honor to be in your show. I watched a couple of these sessions already, and it's great to be here. And now as a guest,
Yeah.
I'm doing fine, having a great time. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sanda, for joining us. It's always it's always a pleasure being with you. We talk IoT, we talk about all the fun stuff. We've been wanting to do this for a very long time. We've just not come back to it. But I was like, no, we need to do it. The year just started. We need to make sure that we're giving off the content. This is not going to be the last. This is not going to be like the last. We're going to have you come on a lot. I know Olivier, Pete, Cliff. Uh, we're going to have all that. We're going to have all of you on. And I know one of the things we
Oh,
talked about was to do the IoT roundtable, which is to generally talk about what's happening in the world of IoT and where we are as professionals and as MVPs in that space to talk about IoT. So today for the next hour is us just going to talk about IoT. You're going to show us some of your cool stuff and some interesting sensors and devices that are running IoT. You're going to share some of those with us. So I think we can kick into the conversation. So maybe let's just get started. State of affairs IoT 2026. Any new technologies? Any new things to look out for? I know people are excited about LoRa. What can you share about that?
um, well, I'm an MPP for IoT, Azure IoT, for 9 years in a row already. So I have basically seen the birth of Azure IoT with the IoT Hub and streaming data and Azure Data Explorer for time series insight stuff. And now the last couple of years, there's this Microsoft Fabric. So next to the IoT, they also was doing real-time intelligence with streaming data and time series databases. So 2 years ago, I was also awarded for blogging and presentations about real-time stuff. So, and that's mostly on the level of Azure Data Explorer, and now with Microsoft Fabric, the event
Fabric, yeah.
And that's quite interesting because for a few years, Microsoft said, well, Azure IoT, it's like feature complete. So everybody was, what's this? What does this mean?
Yeah.
Is it deprecated? No, it's not deprecated. It's feature complete. So there were lots of conversations with the product groups, and what basically happened was that next to the IoT, of what we all love for connecting devices, Microsoft also invested into the new Event Grid MQTT broker.
Yeah.
And they also invested in Azure IoT Operations. So if you look from 10 years ago, we had the IoT Hub, which is bliss and still a perfect solution because you can get devices connected, well, like those little devices that you can connect, that you can build yourself. Oh, really good. I saw a Raspberry Pi in the leader and an Arduino. I've done that. I try to connect that also. But what I found out was that Microsoft, well, when I was presenting or I was at an event, people said, well, that's really nice, the Raspberry Pis and those things. He's like, we don't have it in our factory. That's what customers said. So they said, we have more stuff like this.
Yep.
That's a industrial PC
sphere
with serial communication to relays and analog and digital ports, 24 volts, dust, weather conditions. So luckily, Microsoft had this covered because they had this Azure IoT Edge, which was really cool because we could do Docker containers, deploy them remotely with the IoT Hub, and that saved my ass number of times. Most of the projects that I've done are done with Azure IoT Edge. So when a couple of years ago, Microsoft said, well, we are doing feature complete stuff now, and not telling that they're doing other stuff. We are a little bit in a pickle, but then that we got new stuff. So next to the IoT Hub, which gives a proprietary, it's called, solution for having devices connected, they said, well, there are also people who want to do plain MQTT, vanilla MQTT, just an MQTT broker in the cloud for doing connecting devices to topics, MQTT topics. And so Microsoft introduced an MQTT broker in Event Grid. Which is perfect because some people were complaining, well, I can do the IoT Hub, but it's quite hard. Because there's just a limited set of specific topics for sending messages, receiving commands, exchanging state, where they said, well, we don't do it ourselves. Plus, the IoT Hub has a beautiful way for routing messages, incoming messages to various endpoints. But routing messages back to another device, for that you have to build custom logic. Wherein MQTT broker has that ability to send messages coming in from one topic to listeners, to consumers, subscribers, other devices. So you can have this network of connected devices which are connected directly. A command from one can be a message from one device can be a command for another device. So devices are directly connected, which is a really nice use case. So first of all, that was well, we get more stuff. Our toolkit gets bigger.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what also happened was that Azure IoT Edge with Docker containers, it's beautiful. It's so versatile,
Yeah.
but it has some challenges because
Okay.
there were customers who said, well, how about failover and high availability? Because we have an edge device like the device that I just have shown,
Yeah.
and if it's Docker, so if the device is corrupted or the power goes down,
And
it
you
will not run
instance.
anymore.
Yeah. Mm.
And having multiple Docker solutions next to each other and switching over, that's quite hard. While we have
Mm-hmm.
Kubernetes.
Mm.
So Microsoft thought about that and they said, well, we have something called Azure Arc,
Mm-hmm.
able to manage hardware,
Mm-hmm.
industrial PCs or VMs
Mm-hmm.
somewhere in
Mm-hmm.
the world. And over that line, that communication line to manage those
Mm-hmm.
devices, we can also manage Kubernetes.
Yeah.
And Kubernetes can run in a forum. It can run on multiple nodes.
Mm.
So based on that solution, they built up Azure IoT Operations, which is
Oh.
it's not a replacement, it's a
Mm-hmm.
solution next to Azure IoT Edge.
Edge.
So again,
Mm.
an extra tool in our toolkit. Um, be aware, Azure IoT Operations is it's massive. It's like
Mm.
a little data center in your factory.
Yeah.
Azure IoT Edge was for controlling one device or
Mm-hmm.
a couple of devices, but not for a production line and not for
Mm.
a whole factory. And that's
Mm.
the sweet spot of Azure IoT Operations.
So,
So
Susanna, quick, let me. So, there is always the, I won't say confusion, but there is always the question of people who do, like you mentioned, low end devices. Like I just have a Raspberry Pi, I just have an Arduino, and then I just want to send telemetry, right? Event grade MQTT can deal with that.
perfect.
Where would you say, what's the line? At what point would you say, okay, now migrate from, let's say, IoT Edge into IoT operations, Azure IoT operations, right? Like, at what point do I decide to say I'm going, leaping over Edge to, AIO?
Um, as I said already, the Azure IoT Operations, it's the big brother of Azure IoT Edge, where Azure IoT Edge works with containers running on a Docker solution. So it just we are supplying devices with Docker containers at scale.
Mm-hmm.
If you and you can have a dozen of IoT edges on your plant or
Mm-hmm.
on multiple locations all around the world. Azure IoT Operations is for an IT guy the solution to manage a
Mm.
Kubernetes cluster on hardware and an, an IoT administrator. So you have the
Mm-hmm.
IT guy who's doing networking and
Okay.
operations and policies and security updates and that stuff, kinds of stuff, and running Kubernetes.
Mm-hmm.
You have a operator or a IoT administrator who's thinking about, well, I have that protocol running on the local
Mm.
network, and that message from there has to go to this cloud solution, or I want to have a local feedback loop that if
Mm-hmm.
something happens, I want to have directly on the local network something reacting on it. But that because it's working on Azure Arc, which is not for makers. It's
Okay.
there's cost involved also, and it
Yeah.
runs on heavy hardware. Think of an i5, i7,
Mm.
that kind of devices, i9
Yeah.
maybe, or equivalent. It's you need to have devices with 8 cores and 16 gig or 32 gigs of
Yeah.
RAM,
Before you can
where
run that.
Azure IoT can run on a Raspberry Pi like
Mm.
device. So if you want to have a lightweight and scalable solution, what Microsoft said at some point, they said it's edge between four walls.
Mm-hmm.
So it's for a edge solution in a factory or a building or a cruise
Mm-hmm.
ship that could be done because it's a mini data center. So
Yeah.
that's I hope you it's all about scale.
Yep.
If you want a reliable solution, you go for one. You have a cheap and versatile solution, you go for the other one.
All right. Awesome. So, guys, is yeah, I know the conversation about first of all the conversation of IoT Hub is done. No, IoT Hub is not done. It's still
It
evolving. It's there, still strong. So, for
actually,
mhm,
actually, a couple of months ago,
mhm.
Microsoft
Are we
came
allowed to say it?
new new
Are we
feature.
allowed to say it? Yeah, it's G. I think we can say it. Yeah, I think we can say it. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a
yeah.
public preview, so you can talk about it, and we can talk about it.
No, no,
It's a
no,
public
no. Go,
preview.
go ahead. Talk about it. I was just teasing. Yeah, you share that with us. Yeah.
Okay. So the IoT Hub it's a great tool, and but also the idea it's designed 10 years, 12 years ago. Well, a lot has happened in that
Mm,
12 years. So it's actually one of the oldest IoT services still running, up and running
yeah.
in Azure, and it's what Microsoft has done based on stuff that they did for Azure IoT Operations. Needed device management,
Mm,
devices running on the local network like PLCs or other stuff. And Microsoft was thinking, well, what if we make them manageable
mm-hmm,
in Azure as ARM template, as ARM resources? So Azure
mm-hmm,
Resource Management, with as a IT guy, you can manage resources, also
mm,
resources locally over that Azure Arc and Azure IT Operations.
yeah.
So Microsoft said, well, hey, let's make that same Azure device registry available
Mm-hmm,
for IoT Hub. So that's now
mm-hmm,
for the preview. And on top of that, let's think about certificate renewal, because that's also
yeah.
a kind of a people say, hey, wait a minute. So if I work with certificates, I have to renew them once in a while. That's quite hard. I have to go maybe to the actual device. That's
Mm.
burden has taken away also. So it's it's a life and kicking. Samuel,
So we have a question from Arnold. He says that I noticed the new Azure IoT operations leans heavily on Kubernetes, which is true. For someone who's used to a simple plug and play setup, is Kubernetes becoming a mandatory skill? Sanda, how do you respond to that?
partially. Um, when I started with Azure IoT Operations, in the public preview, the first versions, I was flabbergasted on all the new stuff
Mm,
that I had to learn. Azure Arc was new to me. Uh, Remote management of devices was new to me,
mm-hmm.
and Kubernetes was new to me. I knew containers, but oh no no
Yeah,
no, and I have to learn Kubernetes also. Well,
yeah.
I don't say Kubernetes is easy because
Mm,
I now after 2 years I've scratched the surface of it, and it's doable. It's doable. So Azure IoT Operations hides in to a certain point the Kubernetes layer underneath it. I
mm-hmm.
basically run it on one node, so on one PC. If you have
Oh, okay.
run it on multiple nodes, on multiple PCs as one Kubernetes cluster, there you will run into, you have to master that skill. And the same
Yeah.
goes for security and certificate management, spillover of containers. If it crashes, it has to be picked up by another. Also, that is mostly taken away by Azure IoT Operations. So, for example, devices that on the local network that provide telemetry, it will end up in a MQTT broker running locally on Azure IoT Operations.
Azure IoT, okay.
So if you have a cluster with multiple nodes, with multiple machines, you, where does the device have to drop off the message? And what if a node is crashing and that part of the MQTT broker goes away? How about state? And how about losing messages?
Yeah.
Microsoft has put a lot of effort in all fixing that, all providing that logic and hiding it for us. So if you look at Azure IoT Operations, you will see quite a massive amount of pods and containers, but that's all taken care, all the heavy lifting for you. I can do a demonstration later on where we can actually see how it's doing, and then you can choose, hey, actually, if I just follow the manual and I install the stuff and it's connected, and you start working with it.
Yeah. So I think we'll come back to that, especially for if I hear you, if you're leaning more towards enterprise, large scale deployment, edge deployment, that's for you. And we would probably, you would have to come back to do a walkthrough of how to, and I know you've done that on your blog post, so I'll be sharing that as part of the comment into it. And then, we can do that. Now, I'm looking at the time. People are eager. So I know you have some demos for us, right? Or we're going to talk about, as you were, we're going to transition to your demos, right? But as you're doing that, let's talk about LoRa and IoT, right? Like, because LoRa is becoming the big thing now. It's been there for a while, but now there's a lot more adoption to it. So let's talk about LoRa and IoT whilst I transition you to set up and share something with us. Yeah.
Well, there's a question about the IoT hub, if it's an overkill for hobbyists.
Yes. So let's bring that in here.
There's a simple question. There's a free tier for the IoT hub. You can work with 8,000 messages a day for free. Of course, what you do with that data afterwards, so storage or databases, there will be cost involved. Azure IoT, Azure in total is not a tool for hobbyists. I have a blog post where I can say, if you have an IoT hub and you create a $5 event hub, you can attach to it a real-time database for free, Azure Data Explorer. There's a free tier also for that one. And you need that $5 event hub in between. And you have this quite massive solution for working with real-time data, even dashboarding on top of it. That's a great solution. So if you want to do hobbyist stuff, it's great. And it's a really good ramp up. So, for example, for startups, I would go for this one because then you're using that Microsoft stack, and you can ramp up from startup to scale up and do actual enterprise stuff. If you're into the open source area, okay, there's lots of nice stuff over there also. But okay,
awesome.
That's
so that's it. Let's jump into LoRa, and once you're setting up for the demo, let's talk about LoRa as well.
Yeah. Okay, okay. You have to show this one. Okay.
Okay,
Do you
yes.
know
So
what
let
it?
me
Do you know
let
what
me
it
let
is?
me bring you up. Hold on. So there you go.
Do you know what it
Yes,
is?
yes. So
Okay.
guys, what's under, I honestly, let me talk quickly about this before, because I was blown away. I knew that we had a lot of sensors, right? We had a lot of sensors to do, but what he's holding is a mouse trap. It is a LoRa based or IoT mouse trap. So for those that have big
Yeah.
mice in your homes, you can use this to determine if your mouse trap has caught a mouse or not. Sandra, share with us. Share with us. I'm excited about this.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a mouse trap, and it can register to a LoRa backend. You have
Mm,
to know about LoRa. LoRa, there's a little chip in here. It's low powered. It sends once in a while, say every 5 minutes or every 1 hour or every one
mm,
day, a very small message, 50 bytes
mhm,
at the max, but normally it's something like 5 bytes or 10 bytes.
mm,
And for example, this is a temperature sensor, which I'm not allowed to show according to Cliff,
mm,
but actually, it's a barometric pressure. So
mm.
I'm good. Sorry, Cliff, about that for the confusion. But those devices, they need to call a gateway,
Yeah.
like this one. This is a gateway, a fun one. This is cheap one, and it actually runs on USB-C, so it's portable. I use it for
Mm,
presentations. When I go somewhere, I can bring it with me. But actually, um, can you share this? There are a number of people in my neighborhood. This is my region, um, and people have those gateways put up,
mm,
and they are connected to the Things network, which is a community network. So I also have now two gateways running,
mm.
and those gateways. Let me show you that here. If I go to gateways, here you can
So
see
you're
the
running on the
connection to two of
things. You're
them,
running on
and
the
they
things stack, right?
correct. And it's a
Okay.
open source, free tier community backend from the Things network. And I registered my gateways, which I bought and one I built.
Mm.
Um, and so they pick up all the messages from devices like this one, or from this one. When there's a mouse in there, it will
Yeah.
give a message. It's closed, so
Hmm.
I don't have to go day by day to check if there's a
Mm.
mouse in there.
Yeah.
So that for hygiene, it's perfect.
Mm.
There's not a mouse in there for days. I can be there in minutes if it's
Yeah.
trapped something.
Interesting.
Um, so those messages will arrive at the gate at the this backend. And what I did, I have also, well, I collected lots of uh, sensors. So, for example, I have at home two humidity sensors
Hmm.
temperature and humidity. Yes. Oh, now I'm done with Cliff. So these are the ones, and I can see live data coming in right now. This is
Mm.
um, the, the the actual payload,
Okay.
uh, light, humidity, temperature. So this is data coming in from that sensor,
Oh,
uh,
okay.
and they arrive here. I also and when they arrive, you can forward them to any solution in the world. There are lots and lots of endpoints. But what I did, I connected them to Azure because, well, I'm doing Azure, so
Oh, yeah.
I have it connected to this IoT hub. And I said I want to know the uplink messages. There are many
Messages.
more
Okay.
stuff in here, but I have the. uplink messages. So if I go to the Azure portal, I can go to my IoT hub that I created,
Mm-hmm.
and there it is. And this is the Azure portal where I can manage all my resources. And you can see the IoT hub that I created. There's daily coming in something like 2,500 messages, and then it resets because you pay per day, or actually you pay per
Okay.
month, but with the
Mm-hmm.
maximum per day. So I'm allowed to receive 400,000 messages a day.
Yeah.
Then I will be throttled, and then new day it starts again. And there's this device registry with all the devices in there that I have. And actually, the things that work registers the devices for me. So I only have to create the credentials for those physical devices in the things that work, and they will forward all that stuff into here. So for here, for example, you see the ELSYS device that we just had. And actually, I forward the IoT hub messages. I forward them to a event hub, and here is the event hub. I do few messages, and let's see what's happening. It's once in a while a message will arrive, so it can be take a few seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And there we have a message, and this is the actual message that we get from one of the sensors. Actually, let me check. It's the things that were generic node. There's another sensor in here. The fun part is that I also get information about the gateways that picked up the message and the signal strength. So I can basically do triangulation. If my message from a sensor is picked up by multiple gateways, I can
Gateways.
try to figure out where they are connected. So this is how data comes in from the things that work. And of course, the things that work is free. Those sensors you can build them yourself. And what I did, I forwarded those messages to Microsoft Fabric. How cool is that? Because this event hub is consumed in Fabric. Let me go to the home page first. Microsoft has provided for the last couple of years a new platform, and that's called Microsoft Fabric.
Yep.
For those who know Power BI, know that they have this browser experience where you can build reporting based on data coming from some database. But from a data engineer, that was always a little bit tricky because they were not in control of the databases.
Mm-hmm.
You had to ask a cloud engineer, can you provide me a database? So Microsoft was thinking, well, wait a minute, we have the Azure platform as a service. So you can build whatever you want as a cloud engineer with all the resources. So what they did, they wrapped up all the platform as a service resources like databases, streaming data, agentic stuff, maps. They all wrapped it into this browser experience. And now from the browser, I can work with cloud resources together with reporting. OBI, but also, for example, Azure Maps. So let's see how that looks like. Let's start with ingesting the telemetry, because that's of course the data is arriving somewhere in the Azure cloud. What I can do, I can create a event stream. An event stream is a service or an item in Fabric that can get data from many sources, from IoT hubs, from Event Hub, MQTT broker, from SAP, from HTTP endpoints, but also from a Event Hub. And that's what I built. So I consume it says LoRaWAN source, but it's basically an Event Hub connector. And those messages, you see the actual messages coming in. and they are forwarded just by point and click to destinations. So let me do edit, then you get a better graph. So as a source, I can just for fun say I want to add a new source. Come on, there it is, and I say new. Well, Apache, um, AWS as a source, Postgres databases, you name it, it's there. There's a weather service in there. All just point and click, no code needed, and you have your data coming in. You can add
Transformations.
transformations in there. So if the message comes in and it's not the way that you like, you can transform it, you can filter it, you can join it with other streams. And from there you can.
So Sander, hold on. Sander, hold on just a sec. And I know I'm saying you should hold on. So I know someone in the stream right now who is who is building a solution, right? And just I think last week we're talking about something similar. So it's almost like a fan out where one data stream is piped to, you have like a hot storage, a cold storage, and even if you're doing machine learning, you can pass it to it. Now, the question to you is, I know Fabric is the new thing that, for data ingestion and all that. We used to have, is it event streams? We had a different service, right, that ingested that. Now,
that's
can
you stream analytics job?
Stream analytics jobs. Thank you very much. Now, what would you say? Because I know a lot of the times we have people who want to try this, but then what is the cost component of using Fabric with this stream jobs versus having to use like standalone services?
Okay, well, it's the question: should I go for software as a service like Fabric?
Yes.
So you have that convenient low-code experience, and monitoring is done for you, and alerting is, for example, I want to have an alert. Well, then you make use of an activator. So, for example, if there's no data arriving, the ingestion is corrupted, you add a activator like this, and you have your email or Teams channel, whatever. So within minutes, I can do it in Fabric, and I don't get all the features that are in Azure Platform as a Service, but that subset is already very convenient. So for those who are not knowledgeable about the internals of Azure Stream Analytics, for example, and logic apps and event hubs, this is easy. But on the other hand, if you want to go lean and mean, and you want to have full control on what's happening, and you're knowledgeable, you can program, then Platform as a Service is still a good choice. Because what we see here is built on Platform as a Service. We are actually looking at an event hub for receiving the data and an event stream next to it under the covers. Let me show you this transformation. You know about the SQL editor of Stream job. Look at this.
Yeah.
SQL code. You can actually also go for SQL code. And I do this, and then I have inputs, outputs, and select star from output into input. It's Stream Analytics as a job, but now in a browser experience. So the price will be higher, of course. Yeah, you buy also the convenience, but you don't have to hire a cloud engineer if you're not knowledgeable about it. You can basically do it yourself, or you can tinker with it, and then probably you get it running. So it's convenience and speed versus fully being in control.
Yep.
And I have no clear answer on the needs of what people actually need, but this is the choice that you have to make.
Yep. Yeah, and yeah, so guys, interesting. Like I said, Sundar is like for us the Azure MVPs on IoT. Like Sundar is like our god. He has very extensive and detailed, blog post. And this very thing he's showing, I'm showing his blog. If you go to the link, you see a detailed walkthrough of what he's showing us right now. You can check it out. I think he has a list of all these things there, so you can go check it out. So Sanda, uh, with this,
Oh,
right? What can we achieve with this as you're walking us through? If you
okay,
can share
so
more light for it.
the data is coming in, and I forwarded it to an event house destination, which is a Azure Data Explorer database under the covers. So if you've worked with Azure Data Explorer, you know that it's a cluster. It's not cheap, but there's a free tier for free. There's a blog post. If you search for free, you will find that blog post.
Yeah.
And there you will see that it's a cluster with a number of databases for time series database. So what I did was something like this, and this is of course this is pro level.
Mm.
So we see the ingestion of the data. I store it in a bronze table, so just everything that I can get, I put it in there. And from there, I start to split up automatically into the ambient sensor data and even a GPS sensor in here, the silver tracker. So if you look at
Mm.
the sensor that I just showed that are downstairs, um, that's not this one. This is, let me go for another table, silver layer, silver ambient. Then we see that the data is the temperature, the humidity, and the light and the battery level. So
Mm.
that's in here. So, and these are all observations. So these are all measurements. These are facts. They are
Yeah.
immutable. Yeah. You cannot change them. You can basically not even delete them uh, because, well, you can delete them, but think of it, it's all correct data. There can be, of course, the sensor failures or whatever, and you think, well, those sensors are wrong. I want to get. No, you want to keep them because these are facts of life. So you can then start, well, how many times did I got corrupt data?
Mm-hmm.
Is there are anomalies? Is my sensor dying, for example? Or is the battery level corrupted? And this is the tracker data of a GPS tracker. Um, and I have two of them, but one of them, the battery level was too low. So you see the locations and the battery level in there. So I have to, I have to replace the battery. So this is
Mm.
the data that comes in, and you can do querying on top of it
Mm-hmm.
because this is the most powerful thing. For example, the latest position of the sensors. Uh, those are the latest position that I have of the two latitude, longitude GPS sensors that I have with the battery level. And you see that one stopped a week ago.
Mm.
But I can say, well, why not show it on a map? And there we have the map with that stuff. And the query language is quite simple. So if silver tracker, silver tracker, that's the table, and I want to have a count of the number of rows. So the first line says that's the table, and on the second line I say I want to have a count of all the records in there. So it says there's 33,000 lines in there. Sorry, 33,000. Yeah. It could have been 3 billion or 3 zillion,
Mm.
gazillion rows in there, and it will still show me the same um, um, uh, the same speed because
Speed. Okay.
this database is optimized for speed.
Mm.
This is really, 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 really cool. So I can say something like project. That's like select star, select a column name, the device ID, and then it will complain. Oh, it's not complaining. So that's the project. And then I say, well, wait a minute. Before I do that, I want to have a where clause where the battery is larger than 44. Still a lot, but if it's larger than 99, and larger than 100, it's a percentage. So this, oh, wait a minute, I mistyped this. Sorry about that. Let me do this again. Run. It says not a single one.
Okay.
So this is how the query language works, which is nice. And I encourage you to work with that free version. You can put in millions of rows in there and start working with time series data. But of course, this is how I can query it. But what I can also do is something like save it as a dashboard, or I can create a Power BI, or I can put an alert on top of this.
On top
So
of that,
every 5 minutes, this query is then executed, for example, and if there's rows in there, I get emails. But I want to have something fun because we've seen that that map. That was quite nice. But what I can also do is having a real-time dashboard, which has two tab pages. First, something like the light sensor. So the last couple of hours, I got some light in there, and well, it became dark here already, so it dropped.
So yeah,
and I can even switch between the devices. But there's also this tracker page. So I can say, well, give me.
Are you using the same? Are you using LoRa trackers?
Yeah, I do. Which is a quite awkward. Oh, that's the same. Yeah, but you have nice. I have the gray ones.
Yeah, we also have the gray ones. Yeah, so this we got the recent ones as well. But yeah, we also have the gray ones. We have a few of
That's
those.
perfect. I use those. Yeah. So the trick is that it can get the GPS location somewhere, but then it has to drop it off to a sensor in the neighborhood and to a gateway like this one, or I have to run this one in my car and then go over Wi-Fi. But okay, then why not buy a sensor which is doing Wi-Fi? So here you see that a map from today I had this this drive, but well, it's not really showing me the order of all the notifications. I think I was driving in a straight line, but maybe it's going backward. So Microsoft provides another way to expose this as a map, and that's this one.
Oh, so this is connected to the native maps, right? The Microsoft Azure Map Services, right?
Correct. Azure Map Services is what we're looking at. And what they did was just provide a wrapper around it. And normally Azure Maps, you get an API key and an API, and you have to build it into your browser. So what they provide is a browser experience. So I can say, well, give me the latest positions of the two sensors.
Okay.
Well, I can actually do something like this, seem to fit. And it's the same two locations. Actually, the provinces underneath the Netherlands, there are the provinces. And actually, I want to have the order of that road.
Oh, the path. Okay.
What I did. So I went from here in a straight line and like this, and that's because the GPS works fine, but there are not that much
Yeah,
gates.
points. Yeah,
Uh,
gateways around to triangulate. Yeah.
so and that's why it's a little bit yeah, square. But okay, hey, this is really cool. You can work with layers. Uh, this is really nice, and you can actually also show geofencing if you want to with geo shapes. I have a little demonstration about that also.
Mm.
It's it's
So
it's it's just for playing around.
once you're trying to set that up, there's a question here. Uh,
Yeah.
question is how can I get some of the how can I get Microsoft to give me some of these cool stuff? My response to him is become a Microsoft MVP. You get cool stuff.
Well, I get this lousy T-shirt, and I get and I get. That's a good question, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a small two-part answer. First of all, how
Mm.
do I become an MVP? Well,
Yeah.
MVP is not something that you become. That you I want to be an MVP. Let's do that. No, you have to start thinking about. I love to share my knowledge to the
Yeah.
community. I
Yeah.
love to what I learn and all the failures that I have. I want to share that. So start sharing your knowledge, and at some point, people will say, "Hey, that guy, he knows things." And then Microsoft will say, hey, he's saying some positive stuff and also the actual stuff that's not working. And they will probably award you for being an MVP. And
Mm.
every year you have to come up with a list of all of the things that you've done for the
Yeah.
community, like this. And that's great. But if that's too much for you and too much for a lot of people, there's a free IoT hub. There's a
Yeah.
free Azure Data Explorer. There's a 3 month trial for Fabric. And it's an F64, so that's thousands of dollars that Microsoft will invest in you by giving you a free Azure Fabric. So you can get learn about it in 3 months. You can basically even get free certificates, exams. If you go to the Fabric community website, once in a while they give away free exams. So just start using this and tell Microsoft what you think of it. Feedback
Yeah.
to the project is also very important. If you think things are missing, there's a wish page where you can put your wishes, and Microsoft is reading that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
So
So yeah, that's a big thank you from him. And like you said, just to add to that, the different levels of contribution. Some of it is what we're doing, which is hosting a show like this or live streaming and demonstrating, or there are also other options where you can either host an in-person workshop. If that is not your area of expertise, you can also write blog posts. Like if you're good at writing technical articles, you can also do that, and that's also seen as as a contribution. For some of us, we do a combination of that. We're doing the stream like right now. We also go ahead, we do like in-person presentations, we speak, and then we also put content out like this for people to consume. So that's how you can become an MVP. And yes, and that's a thanks for sharing that. Yep, so let's continue, Sander.
there's a question coming in. Census for 2 years. Longer does the Fabric activator have built-in heartbeat logic to signal still data automatically? Well, the activator has basic logic on is there no data coming in, or is a value too high,
Mm.
or is it too much changing over the last couple of minutes or hours? That's the logic that you will see in the activator. If you want to do really cool stuff with lots of stuff, then bring the data into the event house write a beautiful query for that with all the joins and all the stuff you can think about that you want to put in your alert, and then put a 5 minute or 1 minute or 15 minute activator on top of it, and it will just look how many rows are there, and if there are rows, it will probably end up as a email or a ticket, or it can actually start things in Fabric again, pipelines, notebooks, that kind of stuff. I want to show one more thing, because we have seen how we can work with that data, but let's have some fun.
Yeah.
Because what Microsoft also is offering in Fabric, and this is really cool, it's an agent.
Yep.
And here I already set it up, so just for convenience. So I said, give me an agent, and it's listening to the Silver ambient data and to the Silver tracker data. And I asked something like, well, tell me about the sensors you can see. And it says, well, there's humidity temperature in the Amber table, ambient table, and the other with the tracker data. Okay, cool. Can you tell me something about the latest sensor value? And here, look at this. It tries to figure out the latest data, and actually you can see how it did it, because those are the K12 queries that it generated underneath. So I can reuse them, I can play around, I can understand what's happening. And then I said, well, how many sensors are there per sensor type? Well, there went a little bit wrong, because it says, well, there's 2 humidity devices, 2 temperature devices. Okay, it's the same device. So, well, in the end it says, well, there's 2 unique devices for both tables. That's okay. And then I said, well, do you see any anomalies? How about that? I can ask him for, the agent for anomalies. And there it says, well, there's a 5-minute anomaly. It's not that actual a really cool anomaly, but okay. So, but I know that the sensor was shut down for a couple of weeks. So I asked them, well, did I receive the data constantly? When was the ingestion disrupted? And then it said, well, maybe actually there's this gaps in there for the 5 minutes. Well, I said, well, wait a minute, I'm still not believing it. So I asked it, what's the longest period of ambient data being missing? Here, look at this. It says, well, the biggest gap is 32 days, hours, minutes, seconds. And I can also, because this is a question that would be hard for me to write down. Here it is. Ta-da! Isn't this cool?
Yeah, this is, and it writes it for you.
And now, perfect. Of course, this is an agent, and it will go wrong at some point. If I ask it too much, it will not understand anymore what it means, because it only knows about the table names and the columns in there. It doesn't know about the value. So what I can do, I can give instructions to the agent. You are a expert on temperature data. You will get questions about this. You have to answer. Here, look at this. You answer in a grumpy way. How about that? Let's have some fun. So I go back to the agent. Yeah, okay, and I say, let's repeat the last question. What is the longest period that is missing?
The longest, okay.
That's a massive gap. So if you're expecting something definitely went wrong during that time.
Yeah, and I'm sure these agents also will take time to absorb the instructions. When you were doing this, something crazy came into my head, where and this is just telling us what the endless possibilities are. Imagine, you can connect this to other agents. You can create a whole MCP service from this and link it to your, ChatGPT, Claude Code, literally any third-party agent, right? So 2 days ago, I was watching Network Chuck, and he has set up a phone service on his Cloud Code that he could call, and it would tell him the state of all his servers. So I'm just here thinking we could also set up some kind of that system where you actually would have your agent call you and tell you, hey, maybe your sensors, there's high temperature somewhere. You can connect it to WhatsApp, agent to send you messages.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
That's crazy.
The agent that we built here, you can share it as an endpoint. How
Yeah.
about that?
Yeah.
And then you can use it from, if you have the Enter ID access, of course, because
Mm-hmm.
there's
Mm-hmm.
access regulations on that one. But you
Mm.
can use it in any code that you want to use. It's just an endpoint.
Yeah.
And regarding um, speech, I created a blog post where I talk to Visual Studio Code,
Mm.
goes into the time series database,
Mm-hmm.
comes to the answer, text to speech to tell me about it.
Oh, so it's
So
actually, oh, that's interesting. It's almost the same thing.
Visual Studio Code has a speech recognition engine,
Yeah. Yeah. You
and
know what,
it's really, really, really cool.
guys? This is crazy. This is why I hate myself for doing shows like this. We're trying to be respectful to time is one. And can you imagine that we've been here, enjoying this session for an hour? And I know, look, if we let Sander go right now, we can be talking about this for hours and we won't stop, right? Just
Well,
to
I
just
still
to
have some
be
time.
yeah, we do. I'm just looking at the content coming in from the chat. Oh yeah, great job. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you so much for the updates. Thank you for that. So Sander, I think this is what we're going to do. Uh, People like to see this for the average user. Sometimes I get a lot of questions that says, "Oh, Sam, all the things you're doing are going a little bit over my head, right?" And yeah, Sanda is showing his blog, and I've also put the link to his blog on the screen right now, so you can take a screenshot or do that, and you can go to his blog. He has a detailed stuff about it. Now, so think about IoT. Not just don't feel this is so over top of your head, right? There are a lot of use cases, easy use cases you can set up. I don't know, Sanda, if you want to share the camera to your home setup. Now, don't freak out about Sanda's home setup, right? His is very enterprise and his is very elaborate, but don't freak out on
Okay,
that. Now,
okay. So Laura, that's for
mm,
specific customers, building
mhm,
management or
mm,
factory stuff
yeah,
or out in the open.
mm-hmm,
But mostly the stuff that I do is with Azure IoT Operations and
mm,
Azure IoT Edge. And there's a curse for being a IoT guy because if I go somewhere, I have to bring this with me. And this
mm,
is a small one, so Azure IoT Edge can run on it. But if you're doing Azure IoT Operations, you have to
mm,
walk around with uh, heavy stuff.
yeah,
So what I thought, well, wait a minute, why not leave all the stuff that I have at home? I put
mm-hmm,
some cameras on it,
mm-hmm,
and I can work with it remotely.
mm,
Because if we go to Azure, um, I can do something like this. Azure uh, Arc.
mm,
There's something called Azure Arc,
yep,
and that's the base of Azure IoT Operations. But it's also the basis of doing stuff with machines. So actual VMs or industrial stuff. As you can see, oh, wait a minute, there's something expired, so look into that one. But I have a number of devices being connected at this moment, including this Fogway 01 from Advantech. That's a touch panel PC,
mm-hmm,
and from Advantech, and it runs Windows 11. And there's also in there a UNO 148, which is an i7, which is running Azure IoT Operations. And they are running here in this room. So let's have a look about that. So what I did, let me do that. I use, one more thing. Yeah, if I go into a device like that one, with Azure Arc, I can set up a connection, SSH connection, or a desktop connection with that device. Let me close down this one. Something is eating up some resources in my browser there. So let me close the LoRa stuff. Okay, well, it gets me an SSH connection, and it is secured. Here it is. I can say, well, I work with a password, and then I have to do something like Azure SSH to a device, and the device that has a little agents and with a trust to Azure. So what I did was something like this. I created that session, and I gave the password, and that gave me access to this guy. This is a remote desktop over the internet, over Azure, with a secure connection to the device in the same room. But be aware, this is not on the same network. I'm going to Azure, and Azure have a secure outbound connection from the device to the cloud. So this is like a VPN connection.
Oh,
it's
okay.
Trusted, it's secure, it's there in Azure, and this is not that expensive. This is almost for free. This connection. So you see that I make a connection to that POCW. By the way, if I use this, I can also work with other things. I can do updates on the device, and I can get messages if there's no update, and I can get logging. I can apply policies on the device, on the operating system, and it is a VM in Azure. So of course, I'm a little bit sloppy. There are some updates that I did not run. This machine gives me access to the local network, and from there I can get into all the machines locally in a secure way. So look at this. This is my room. This is the stuff that I am running just around the corner here. I can actually do it like this. Hello.
That is Sunday's crazy setup.
So we are actually at this moment on this pedal PC on the left.
Okay.
And on the local network provided by this industrial router from Teltonica, on that network I have run an i7 from Advantech, this device, and it's running Kubernetes, and it's collecting data from various sensors locally on this network. So I have a Waco PLC with an energy meter, and that energy meter is reading the energy consumption from this electromotor. You see this electromotor? Let me.
Yeah, and for those in the chat, yes, the live will be on demand again on YouTube. So if you missed the earlier part, you can go watch that as well. Yeah. So now take it away.
So this is the energy meter, and there's a vibration sensor on top of it. So I also get information from how many vibrations there are made by the motor. So if the motor runs dull, there's some friction, the vibration will become more heavy, and then maybe you have to replace the motor, something like that. And it looks like a lab. Well, actually, this is my attic. I'm at home.
Yeah, he's just throwing shade. He wants to laugh at me because my home lab is not compared to what he's seeing. So he's just throwing shade. I won't mind him. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and there's cameras in here, and the
Mm,
camera data is also picked up by the IoT Edge, sorry, the
mm,
IoT Operations. Uh,
mm.
Actually, I can show you what's picked up. So let's move over to the MQTT broker, because there's an MQTT broker running on Azure IoT Edge. I am connected with it with a tool that's called MQTT Explorer, and I can see actually what's happening. And actually, if you look at this,
Oh yeah. Mm.
you see it, there are some lights flashing.
Mm-hmm.
I can try to do it again. Magic. What's happening? What's happening here? Because as I said, let's go to the MQTT broker. I get data from various sensors in here. The
Mm.
barcode PLC with the energy meter
Okay.
data.
Yeah.
So here we see the current being created and the voltage that is
Mm-hmm.
consumed. I get data from the vibration sensor in here. So I get all kinds of vibration information.
Mm. Is
Um,
this Sander? So this MQTT Explorer, is it pulling it from event grid, or
no,
it's
no.
picking it?
On Azure IoT Operations, there's a local MQTT broker.
Okay. Okay.
So think of it that everything what happens on the local network, it's
Mm-hmm.
sent to the MQTT broker, and services can pick it from there,
Mm.
for example, to the cloud. I will show how the data is coming. So there's an MQTT broker running on the Azure IoT Operations
Mm-hmm.
on that i7, the industrial PC. And for example, I also get data about, let's see here, the line crossing events. That's
Mm.
on fifth. The camera that I have
Yeah.
exposed events on it like people, motion, and line crossing. And those messages are also picked up by my Azure IoT Operations. I did it all no code. Everything you see is no code, and I picked it up. And actually, there's a local feedback loop on here on
Mm.
the Azure IoT Operations. So if there's a line crossing, which is
Mm-hmm.
true or false, I pick up that message and I send it back to another topic on the same MQTT broker,
Anti broker. Okay.
which says active 0 or active 1, true or false. Actually, it's 0 or 8, because there's in this setup this little blue box, this Adam from Advantech, and it's
Mm.
there are relays on there.
Mm-hmm.
And for each relay, there's a light on this signal tower on Verma. So I can control the lights on there. And how is that done? Because on that blue box, I have Node-RED running. And here you see
Ah.
0 and 8. And if I go down, I get the true or false from the line crossing,
Mm-hmm.
turns into a 0 and an 8. And basically that says, well, I'm listening to the local MQTT broker with Node-RED,
Mm-hmm.
and the messages are then sent to either 00000, all lights or all relays are off,
Off. Okay.
and I did some trickery because this thingy on the at the bottom, it's for 010101, so I
Mm.
can get that blinking effect. Yes,
Ah. Okay.
it's Node-RED, Sylvian. Um, it's not something that you expect a lot in factories, but it's used. Um,
Mm.
and here I use it for demonstrations, and we use it sometimes for a proof of concept. But personally, I don't recommend it in a production environment. For that, try to think in a production environment to build custom logic or use Azure IoT Operations or another way.
Yeah.
Can you check on the 00 in an 8 somewhere in the middle?
Somewhere when it comes. Okay. So it's still okay. So waiting for that cross 0, 0, 0. Making sure I'm not blinking to capture that.
It's not exact
Not,
science.
yeah, not yet. Okay. Oh yeah. One. Yeah, one. Yeah. We have it's changing to 1. So we see some ones in there changing
Correct.
to 1. Yep.
And that's because I did something like this code. That when I get a 0, I do that. 1, I do
yeah.
that.
Okay.
It's
True. Okay.
this is the best that I can do with Node-RED. So it
You
is not
have.
just for convenience, because this is something
Yeah.
that people understand. I could
Yeah.
have done trickery with bit shifting and stuff, but and this is not the most elegant way, but it's understandable.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is, we have sensors, we have data coming in on that MQTT broker, and we have OPC-UA, HTTP. There are many more protocols that you can work with. But how is this all connected? Well, that's fairly simple. If I move over to the cloud, as I said, this you have the IT administrator, operating system, Kubernetes clusters. If I go to here, you will see Kubernetes clusters in here. That's the area of the IT guy. But the actual logic running on that edge within the factory, that's something for the operations engineer or the operations team. So what Microsoft provides is a second user interface for that. Not in the browser, not in the Azure portal, but there's a actual IoT operations experience. So you see, I have 2 machines. One is expired and one is connected. So I have a little problem with that one. But let's go to the one that's actually running. As you can see, I have a number of assets, devices, I have data flow, and I have data flow endpoints. Smoothly, there will be more stuff coming soon. This is really cool. What we're seeing here is still building up. I'm really excited about what's being done by the product teams in this area. And if you look at here, you see assets, devices, data flows, and data flow endpoints. Well, let's start with the data flow. That's the starting point that I want to show you, because on this Advantic industrial PC with Kubernetes and with Azure IoT Operations as a logic layer on top of it, I can get data to and from multiple endpoints. And endpoints means credentials. So I have to set up endpoints. For example, for free, I get that MQTT broker locally. That's there already. But I can make a connection to the
Fabric.
event stream.
Okay.
This is the one for an event stream. So let look like this, and I have to fill in the credentials for an event stream. I can send the data to the event hub. You know, that one with all the messages, and we got a small notice on that one. This is how to work with an event hub. I can work with a Azure Data Explorer. If you have an Azure Data Explorer, you can connect it directly. If you have blob storage, where is it?
Yeah,
here.
there's Kafka. Yeah, data lake. Yeah,
you can send data directly into a blob storage. And another one, there's also local storage, but that's more like a key value pair storage. But keep in mind, that's a storage locally, which is balanced over multiple nodes. So if one node fails, there's no data lost. And it will still, the logic will be taken over by another node. So this is spillover, high availability. This is 100% uptime. Well, I cannot demonstrate it right now, but there's many blog posts on how to work with it, even with commands coming from Fabric into Azure IoT Operations. But what I did was, once I have a endpoint for a data flow, I can work with data flows. And here is a list of the data flows that I have. So, for example, and this is a little bit the trick that I use, but there's from one location to another one. So, for example, from the WISE 6610, that's a LoRa gateway, a local gateway on which is private for me. It's not connected to the cloud. It's running locally.
Yeah.
I send message to this local UNS. So if I click on that, I say, well, the data coming in from this topic on the local MQTT broker, I can transform them if needed, and I can send them to a destination.
Yeah.
Like this one. And this is a universal namespace that I use. So let me show how that works.
Okay.
And let me move over to the MQTT broker. That's the other screen. That's this one, and I have to go in here. So when a message arrives at the what was it? Contact. I believe this one. It's forwarded to IoT Edge, Netherlands, Helmond, Building 1.
Oh, like that's very drilled down. Like that's very specific.
And that's a universal namespace that I came up. So
okay.
And here you see from all the different devices that are generating data, and I have no control mostly of the time about the topics that they use. I can have them put in a new topic arrangement. So you see, I get CC energy meter, I get the vibration, I get the a fission gauge.
Yeah.
I actually also have in here I can have network stream. I have this beauty with a vision camera, and it tries to read the actual, and it says something like 60, 62.
Yeah.
So see about that. 64 it says.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I have to do better with but it's running OpenCV.
Okay.
So I have a custom module, a Docker container, a pod with OpenCV running in it. There's a blog post about it, how to do that.
Yeah.
And the last thing that I want to show is that line crossing to the command. How is that done? And so for that, I have two flows. One is the vision. No. I get data from my sensor, from
The
my
source. Okay.
um, let me do it like this. There's a device
Mm-hmm.
for working with an IP camera,
Oh, okay.
and I'm reading images or a
Mm-hmm.
stream of images, and I'm reading the ONFIF protocol endpoint of my IP
On
camera.
it. Okay. Yeah.
ONFIF is a standardized eventing solution for cameras. I picked up that ONFIF protocol, and I have it sent to a certain MQTT broker.
Okay.
Let me try to figure out where it is. Here I have to say line crossing, and here you see the
Okay.
uh,
Okay.
the,
That's the topic.
the topic that it's used. And what I did, if a message is coming in there, and this is the source with the line crossing,
Mm-hmm.
then
Okay.
I do a,
Compute. Mm. You're computing. You're doing a transformation on that.
and it's loading, so I hope it will, yeah, there. Then I send an
Okay.
8, because that's the right light that I want to have
Okay.
shown, and otherwise a 0.
Mm-hmm. 0.
And that's
Okay.
sent to
Okay.
the destination where Node-RED is listening to.
Oh, and then node red picks it up, and then that's how the light
And
gets whether it's red.
yes,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
so
That
this
makes
is
sense.
a local feedback loop. And it could, of
Okay.
course, been that I have sent it also to a to the
Hmm.
cloud,
Cloud.
to Azure.
Yes. Yeah.
And as I said, there's also something with images and video
Mm-hmm.
streams.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope to build something that when something happens, that it takes a picture and sends that
Mm-hmm.
picture to the cloud.
Yeah. So you
So
can
I
that
have evidence
review.
that you will see my hand in front of the camera, and uh, and that's
Yeah.
and that's the beauty of it. This is all no code.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just work on it, you save it, and it will be sent towards the local device. And
Mm.
then when the internet connection is disrupted for some reason, it will still run locally
Mm.
in
Wow.
a load balanced way.
Interesting.
So just using some Advantic stuff and some stuff
Mm.
from Wago, Verma,
Yeah. All the industrial stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't have to carry it with me. I can
Yeah.
just take this and
Remote. Yeah. Connect into it and show that. Yeah. 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 I hope we're going to have a session on this at Summit, because I'm going to see you at Summit next month. So we're going to have, unfortunately, guys, we can't share that with you at Summit. Maybe after Summit, we can share all the goodness and the crazy things that happen. But it's being awesome, talking to you, Sanda. Like I said, look, we can keep going and going and going and going if you guys don't stop us. We try to keep this in 1 hour, but we've done 1.5 hours. That's a lot. Thank you so much, Sanda, for time. And if this is the kind of thing you want to see on most of our streams, try to do this as often as we can. And all the things he's mentioned, I shared, Sanda has like very, very detailed blog post, which I'm showing on the screen right now as well. If you go to his blog post, you will see that he has documented all that in details, so you can see all that for yourself and get interested. Yeah, I know today was more of just conversational for him to show us some of these things from low code all the way to the enterprise deployment. But don't get it twisted. On the show we try to teach all that. He mentioned a few things that I from time we're going to break them down and show you how to get started, because I know that's the question you guys will be asking. I don't have that equipment or that setup. How do I get started? We're going to show all that. So if you look up here, we have a QR code that you can also scan to subscribe to the channel, so that anytime Sundar and the rest of the team will join to share some of these things, you will be the first to know about it as well. So to all the people who's joined us, thank you so much for making date with us. We'll come back again next week Tuesday with something else. Hopefully we can get hopefully we can get Sanda to come back, or we can get another person to come back to share with us. It's been an awesome an hour and a half on the IoT Tuesday show. I still remain yours truly, Samuel Adrian, bringing you this. And till we come your way again next week, it is adios and stay safe.